Hey everyone, it's Riley. Today is June 27th, which means I am 3 days shy of 18 months on testosterone. I have not done a testosterone update in a while, so I wanted to do one at a year and a half just to mark any changes that I've seen, and I just want to give an update because I haven't been with YouTube as much as I've been in the past. I don't find it important to make month-by-month updates anymore because I don't have changes that are really all that interesting. Not that they were really that interesting before, but especially now. I've also really pulled myself out of the YouTube world to put myself in my real life world and connect with trans people in my Kansas City community. Updates on changes, I guess, from 1 year to a year and a half, really not a lot. I would say more body hair, but not a lot more body hair. I do have more facial hair, but as you can tell, it's still not very noticeable. I've got about, some under here that can be noticeable sometimes, especially if I let it get really long. I've got a little bit on my sideburns and like a little stray hairs like on my cheek. I don't know if you can even see. I might have to put some pictures up, but that's what's going on. I don't grow facial hair very easily at all, but I've been happy that I have like some now. Again, it's not super noticeable in every situation, but I'm happy with progress. Like when I came back from Europe, which I was about 9 months on T then, and that was 9 months ago, I had 1 black hair under my chin. And now I've got about 10 black hairs under my chin. So they're not even black, they're just like dark. And a few here, so I'm happy. But I have been considering starting minoxidil. And for those of you who don't know, it's something that like people normally use on their head. It's Rogaine is like the brand name. A lot of trans guys use it on their face because they don't want to wait for the facial hair to grow in. It's something that I considered 5-6 months, maybe even before that, in my transition. But I'm really happy that I waited to see, like 5 months, 6 months is way too early in my opinion to use it. Some people start it pre-T, so I mean whenever you feel comfortable, but for me, like I'm glad I've waited a year and a half, and like people tell me I need to keep waiting, like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, like keep waiting, it'll grow more. And I know it will. I've just kind of been curious because I've seen a lot of people use it, and like I'm tired of not looking my age. Like I'm gonna be 31 in 2 months, and like I still look like I could be, I don't know, 20 or 21. So I'm curious, like one of the big reasons I started T was to grow facial hair. So like it's been frustrating, and I'll get on social media and like see other people that are at the same point in transition as myself and like full on beard, and I don't know, it just makes me feel kind of shitty, and I'm tired of waiting. So with all that being said, I might start using it. It's super toxic to cats, so I've been waiting as well because for the past 9 months I've been living with my aunt, and she has 3 cats, so I didn't want to put them at risk, but I'm leaving her place, so I don't have that problem anymore. My only other hesitation is that it can cause irregular heartbeat, also like maybe acne and like skin irritation. So I don't know, I'm nervous, but I think like it's worth just trying it, and then if I have bad side effects, I'll stop. I've been like working out off and on. In my last video, I said I was in a trans men's fitness group, so I did that in, I think, it was like April and May, or March and April, and I really loved it. I was doing a high protein diet and cutting out sugar and cutting out alcohol. It was really good. I was working out like 3 times at least a week. We had a group meeting each week where we worked out together. One of the great benefits was that I just met some really cool guys in the group. And by the end of it, I think it was 6 week, 7 week program, I gained 3 pounds of muscle. So that might not sound like a lot, but that is exciting, and like my fat percentage went down. Not that I have a lot to lose there. But after that was over, I kind of stopped working out. I've been experiencing like a lot of chest dysphoria, and I don't feel like if I build up my chest or I build up my arms, like I still feel crappy about my body because of like my chest still being there. So that's discouraged me from continuing to work out. I don't see results as quick as I want to, and I sometimes will like easily injure myself, and I get busy. So exercise has always been important to me. I still continue to exercise, but I don't do as much like lifting weights as I have been, but I hope to get back to it. On the topic of like that crappy area, I have not made any like movements forward on that. I have done a lot of fundraising since the beginning of this year, and I have a good chunk of money saved for top surgery, but because of my life circumstances, not knowing where I'm gonna live, which I'll kind of dive into that next, I haven't been able to schedule a consultation. I've looked at a doctor in Kansas City, I've looked at a doctor in Australia, and I've even looked into some doctors in Thailand. I was thinking about going to Thailand because it's a lot cheaper, and I don't have health insurance at this moment, so that seemed like a good option, but I've kind of, not sure I'm comfortable completely. I have talked to some people that have had like great results from Thailand, but again, I don't really know where I'm going at this point, like with my life, so I'm just trying to be more like comfortable, not more comfortable with this, but I guess more comfortable with just, it's okay to wait. It's not a race. My transition is not like, it doesn't have to be finished at a certain point. I guess it will never really be finished. But it's been hard. Again, with the social media, I will get on to groups and I'll see like people saying, I got my top surgery today, or, look at my results 1 month post-op, and I'm happy for them. Like, I do love looking at them, but it makes me feel like crap, like so bad that I can't move forward and be the person I want to be. And I don't want to keep it waiting. Like, I was waiting to, change my name, waiting to start hormones. Like, I want to just live as Riley now. And I do think I am to a certain extent, but there's been times where it's like, I don't feel like a guy yet. Like, when am I gonna feel like a dude? Like, will I ever feel like one completely? And I don't know if that's like internalized in my brain, or if that's from like society still misgendering me at times, or like this chest. Like, I think once this is gone, I will feel like so much better. But what if I don't? I have to start learning to like love who I am now and stop thinking down the road what I'm going to be. I've had a lot of problems with my hormone levels in the last like 9-10 months. Basically, since I got back from Europe, my T levels have been over 1,000, which has not been good, and my doctor has been like, keeps taking down my dose a little at a time. But even when she's been taking down my dose, like my T levels will be the same or sometimes even higher. And this like really concerned my doctor, and she called me in April saying that like I might have some kind of tumor inside of me, and like that's secreting like extra testosterone, and that's why like I keep going up. It sounded really strange to me. She said it was really rare, but I had to go through and get an ultrasound done, which was just a couple weeks ago, to make sure it wasn't there. And it was a pain because I don't have health insurance. I had to go through this whole process to like, get an ultrasound for cheap, which I'm glad that exists, but it took me a couple months to get all the paperwork in. Found out no tumor, but I've got a cyst on one of my ovaries, which at first I like really freaked out about, but they want me to do like a CT scan for it, but I am about to leave, so I can't exactly do a CT scan now. But I've heard that cysts are somewhat common, and it may have been there before. Like, it might have been there for years, like before I even started hormones. So I'm trying not to be too concerned with that. My hormone levels finally did go down. I think I'm still a little bit on the high range, but they're normal now, and I'm taking like a quarter of what I used to take. I don't know anybody who's on that small of a dose, but it's almost like a waste to like even use like a big old like 3 ml syringe when I'm like, there's barely like anything in it. But that's what I'm doing, and I'll just continue doing that because it's working. Everybody's body is different. I guess my body just like really doesn't like testosterone in it. I have been apart from my partner since last September, so 9.5 months. Not that I'm keeping track. So it's been hard. It's been really hard for a number of reasons. Emotionally, like we're in different time zones, like she's in Australia. It's just hard, long distances. But the harder part is navigating the visa issue. We've been together for 2.5 years, but we aren't sure that we have enough, like, documents, evidence, that's the word I'm looking for, evidence to prove that we have been serious for a long enough time in the eyes of the Australian government. So we have thought we're going to apply for a partnership, but then we're not sure we can. We're not sure if we're like ready to apply for it as well, because it's kind of like a big deal and it's really expensive, and it just kind of like locks you in, which isn't bad, but it's also just like a big deal. And I guess when you're in a situation like this, it's hard to be kind of like laid back. I booked my ticket to Melbourne back in March, but there's been times since then that I wasn't sure I was going. It's been like totally back and forth. And again, it's various issues. But now I've decided that I'm just going to go because that's who I am. I'm going over on a tourist visa, which is only 90 days. And at the end of that, I'll either return home, or we'll apply for partnership, or we'll come up with some other plan. It's totally unknown, and it's really terrifying. But I just feel like I'm too far into this to back out now. Like, I really miss my partner. I want to see if this can work. And if it doesn't, I'll just go home. I'll be doing what I was doing before. So I don't feel I have that much to lose. But it has been hard because I've gotten very used to living in Kansas City again. And I've gotten really close to friends and, of course, family. I've been living with family. So it was not an easy thing to leave that behind. And I'm trying to not keep overanalyzing the situation because I've been overanalyzing it for 9.5 months. But in 2 days, I will be on that plane, headed to Melbourne, and questions will be answered. So that's been, like I was explaining before, like a huge barrier for me to get top surgery. I don't know where I'm living. I don't have health insurance, so how can I get a surgery? So that's a goal I've kind of just had to push off as much as I don't want to. The last thing I really want to say is I am at a point in my transition that I have very, very little patience left for people misgendering me. At first, I was fine, yeah, people have to get used to it. It's all good, like, I'm not going to get mad. But I am 2.5 years, about 2.5 years into my transition now. And I've been on hormones for 18 months. So if you're still messing up, you're not trying. Like, and I'm going to be mad, like, you're going to see some anger, like, you're not trying. It's not that hard, and you can do it if you practice at home. I don't care what the heck you have to do, because when you misgender me, it makes me feel like absolute crap. Like, it's like you're cussing me out. Like, everything that I'm doing to be the person I want to be is just slapped in the face when you're misgendering me. And of course, like, someone accidentally does it, like, every once in a while, fine. But people that are continuously doing it, or, like, someone that I maybe haven't met, like, previous to being Riley, who's misgendering me, like, it's hard for me to understand that. Again, I have leeway. Like, you just catch me in the right mood. But I'm just really not okay anymore with saying, oh yeah, well, it takes people time. It's been enough time. And if you do it to me, you need to just correct yourself and move on. Or maybe you say, hey, I'm sorry, and just move on. Like, people that are misgendering me and then they're like apologizing like profusely, and I have to be like, no, it's fine, like, it's really okay. No, don't worry about it. I don't need to go out of my way to make you feel better about offending me. Like, just, if you did it, move on. Because that makes me feel even more uncomfortable, and I, like, don't want to have to bring that up, especially if there's other people in the area. I don't know if that works for everybody, but that's just me. This video has been really long. I knew it would be. I've had a lot to say over the last 6 months. But I'll keep updating with different things. I'm hoping my next update will be with some type of top surgery news. But like I said, I might have to continue waiting on that, so I'm not sure. But I'll at least shoot you a video from Melbourne. I'm headed into winter over there, so trying to soak in a little bit of sun while I can. But alright, I'm going to stop. Thank you, as always, for listening. If you have any questions, comments, send them my way. I'm happy to talk with you. And take care. Bye, y'all.